Leaving the theoretical and heading to the historical now, not too long after Siddhartha went into parinirvana, there developed different interpretations and emphases in relationship to his teachings. There developed numerous schools, maybe up to 16. Over time, these different teachings coalesced into two major branches of Buddhism. Using aquatic imagery again, they became two major yanas or rafts: the Hinayana, lesser raft, and Mahayana, greater raft. The Hinayana would later be called the Theravada, School of the Elders, because the former name was a derogatory term given by the Mahayana. Taking the Theravada first, as it is the older of the two, this raft has been more conservative and traditional. It has also been called Southern Buddhism because as this tradition left India, it took a southern trajectory via Sri Lanka and then eventually into countries of Southeast Asia. This raft has the Arhat ideal, which focuses more on the individual striving toward enlightenment. It has also tended to be Sangha-centered, focusing on the traditional community of monks and nuns. In the pre-corona classroom days, I pretended to be a monk from Thailand. I would complain that I could never convince my aunt to speak to my class about Buddhism in, in Thailand. Anyway, when it's not the rainy season, the monks would go around the village with their bowls. They wouldn't even look at or thank the villagers. How selfish this seems. It's not like the villagers have fancy large Viking refrigerators full of food. In our scenario, I would go around the class as you give me pens representing food, which awarded you good karma. I would go back to the front with your pens, like the Thai monks would return to the Wat or monastery. It's quite interesting to witness the discomfort of the students with their lost writing utensils. Realizing this, I would rapidly and randomly return the pens and pencils. Now there is even more student discomfort as they have received different pens and pencils. Don't worry, I would allow the students to find their writing instruments. For a few moments, however, they were experiencing a type of dukkha. The Mahayana branch of Buddhism used to claim that the Theravada was selfish, but not really. The Sangha and the villagers actually coexist in a type of reciprocity. The monks are supported by the community, while the villagers receive karmic benefits. For the Mahayana raft on the left side of the slide, the history has been much more liberal and elaborate. The boat housing many more teachings and practices. It has been called Northern Buddhism because this branch took a northern trajectory via the Silk Road into northern countries such as in East Asia, such as China, Mongolia, Japan, and Korea. This raft has been more laity-centered, offering many more benefits and practices for the non-professionals, monks or nuns. Where the Theravada has had the Arhat ideal that focuses on the individual, the Mahayana has an ideal called the Bodhisattva ideal. This ideal does also require the right effort, but with a significant difference. The individual chooses not to enter nirvana, but remains in a penultimate state, helping others. All the good karma that would come to such an individual would be reflected to others, like those suffering students upset about the loss of their pens. A significant thing about both branches is that for all of their differences, they both are interpreting the life of Siddhartha. The Theravada can focus on the fact that Sid was a man who did all the necessary work alone to become awakened. The Mahayana can focus on the fact that Sid was tempted to go into parinirvana by Mara, but refused and stayed, teaching others for about 40 years. In a version of the Siddhartha legend that would be acted out in class, Mara's tempted Sid by telling him to enter nirvana because no one would understand his teachings. But Sid said that there will be some who understand and stayed in the world to teach others. So there is a scenario we acted out, and the other shown in the little Buddha clip I hope you watch in Canvas. The same founding figure with two different interpretations. Wait till we get to Jesus. Religions with founding figures can be so fascinating.